and I used to answer like 5 questions or whatever they wrote in. I would answer them, and I did that for like 10 years, but I just felt burnt out from that, so I had to leave that too. So, but I left my teaching job. I miss the people, the night people. I don't know why. I had a lot of fun with them. Like I said, that I could get along with anybody, but I had a lot of fun with them. And the people who, like, I felt terrible, like I said, for the people who died, and I prayed for them. And I had a really great prayer life going for years and years. I didn't have to work anymore. I retired from my teaching job. I stopped working at night, which I still miss. And I just did my books and my artwork. So, yeah. So now everything's going fine, Gary. For years it's going just fine, wonderful. I thought anyhow. I have this nice house in New Jersey. It's on an acre of property. I do want to describe the house because I want to describe so you could understand what the house is and how this creature, how and why it came in here. And I think I have the answers for mostly all of that. So I live on an acre of property in New Jersey. My house is the driveway is about 140 feet, and it's like a big cement basketball court on the end, but the garages are on the side of the house. So you got to come in, you got to turn your car into the garages. So there's 3 garages on the side of the house, and then there's a basement, and then between the basement and the garage there's this big metal door there. And then the upstairs, I have the regular, like anybody else's house. I have a kitchen and a living room, and then there's other bedrooms down here. I had 3 boys living here, so it's me and my wife and 3 boys, and everything seems to be going fine. I'm going back to my artwork. I have my prayer life. Every day I pray for about an hour and a half, and I pray for these souls constantly. And I never thought anything would ever happen, that something like this would happen, that I'm talking to you today about. I never would have thought about it, Gary. So you want me to start telling you exactly how this apparition started and what it blown into?
Yeah, well, what were you doing when it happened? I mean, did you kind of give up your faith a little bit from what you used to be? I mean, what made it decide to approach you, come into your life, and change your life?
Yeah, well, I think it was because of my prayer life. I would pray at least an hour and a half a day and meditate for at least an hour and a half a day. I had the time, Gary, because I went back to my artwork, and on that where I said John-Eagan, EAGN.com. That's what the cover of the book, that's what the actual apparition that I saw. Because I'm an artist, because I have the ability to draw and paint exactly what I see, that's exactly what I saw. And we're going to start to get into that, I guess, right now, which would be probably a good time. But that's why I tell you that I'm an artist. But on one of those pages on that website, you can see some of my artwork. Not only like maybe 2 years ago, I did a piece of artwork that was seen throughout the whole world. I mean, it was such a beautiful piece of work. I'll tell you real quick how that started. My wife is in charge of the Adoration Chapel over here at the church. And then when Jesus is in the monstrance and in the Luna, you burn candles. When they burn down, you're supposed to throw them away when they get down to about 2 or 3 inches. All these years, she was saving those candles, and one day I just happened to see these boxes in the basement, and I'm looking in the basement, and I go, all these burnt-out candles. I go to my wife, what are you doing with all these burnt-out candles? What are you going to do with them? You're waiting for like a 45-minute blackout or something? What are we going to do with these candles? She said, no. They kept Jesus company all these hours. They just can't have the heart to throw them away. She goes, you're an artist. Why don't you do something with them? And I was thinking, no, maybe that's good. I do have the time, and I am an artist, so I'm thinking, okay, I'll melt all these candles down. There's like 50 pounds of them. So I melt them all down. I also have the ability, for some reason, to be able to sculpt things. I could sculpt things into marble. I could sculpt things into rock. I could take like clay and just make it look exactly like what I want to make it look like, or you if I wanted, or anybody if I wanted. So I'm thinking, she's right. These candles did keep Jesus company for countless hours. Maybe they should take the image of him. So I melted them down to a big block, and I started digging it out. So I dig out this beautiful, gorgeous picture of a bust of Jesus out of it. If you went to my website, you see it there. Even if you went to Google John Eagan bust of Jesus, you're going to see it. So the church wants me to bring it over there, so I bring it over. So all these people come to it. They want to see it. They want to look at it, taking pictures of it. The newspapers get wind of it. Now again, I'm in every single newspaper again, and every magazine. Ripley's, believe it or not, came to see it. They said they called me and said, "Look, we want to buy the sculpture and put it in one of our museums." And I was, "No, I'm not going to put it in. You're not going to buy it unless you got $1 million. Then you could buy it, but I'm not selling it." So it's in their 2018 Ripley's, believe it or not, edition in their book. If you ever was in the bookstore, you could see it there too. And then So I did a lot of interviews for magazines and stuff like that. And then one time my wife goes to me, the big boys are on the phone for you now. I go, who's the big boys? She goes, USA Today. I go, oh, it's the big boys. Yeah, you're right.
That's gotten there, yeah.
Yeah. So they interviewed me. They did a full page. You can see that. I think that's on one of the pages on the website of John-Eagan, EAGAN.com. You can see that actual bust of Jesus. So it came out beautiful. It was in every. So I have the ability for what I see, what I could put down on paper. So that's all or I could sculpt it if I want to. So that's the idea I want you to get. So when you look at this, the cover of the book on John-Eagan.com, EAGAN.com, that's the e-book. It's like 350 pages. That's the cover of it. That's where you could buy the book, by the way. So that's what I just want you to know, that I remember what I saw. I burnt the image of that into my head. So anyway, Gary, I have this house. It's on an acre of property. I meditate every day for about an hour and a half in the living room on a sectional couch, like I guess most people have. And I have next to the sectional couch, I have a glass top table with a lamp on it, like most people have. Just regular, regular guy in a regular neighborhood. It's kind of a nice neighborhood, though. But so I'm standing there, Gary, one day, and everything's going fine, like I said, for years. And all of a sudden, that metal. I have the basement. I have 3 boys here. So as they're growing up, they wanted more rooms. I had the basement finished. I had it cut in half. I had an apartment built down there for my first son. So he moved in there. He went to college. Then my second son moved in there. He went to college. My third son moved in. He went to college, but he came back. So he was still kind of like here. He was working, but he was still here. So I'm sitting on the couch, Gary, and that metal door. You could almost hear it when somebody comes in, almost, But this afternoon, I hear that door slam like I've never heard it slam before, Gary. It was the weirdest thing. So I'm thinking, my wife couldn't even slam that door that hard, and my son, if it broke up with his girlfriend or he crashed his car, maybe that's what got him so mad. So I ran into in the office here. I have the security system. So I look into the cameras, and I see that nobody is on the property. Nobody opened up the garage doors. There's one back door that comes into the garage, and nobody opened that door. So there's nobody on the property. I know that. So I get up from the office, and I look down the steps. I see that Johnny's car's not home, so he's not home. I can see in the garage. My wife, I'm home. So I look down the basement. Usually, if my son came home or somebody dropped him off or something like that, first thing he does is turn the lights on down there. But the lights are dark down there, Gary. So this was weird. It was eerie. So I go downstairs. I turn the lights on. I start looking around, all around the basement, all into his apartment, in his closet, under his bed, furnace room downstairs. I look in the furnace room. I felt something like unexplainably menacing, sinister, ominous, something inauspiciously like evil is threatening, something like evil, and I couldn't explain it. But did it affect your breathing and all that stuff? I mean, were you scared? Well, I was way off my game. I'll tell you that much. But I knew it wasn't a person. So I think if I thought like somebody broke in, but they can't break in because even the basement windows have bars on them with a lock, and you could unlock it and get out if you want, but you can't really get in. So I knew. So this was really weird. So I come upstairs, and I know that nobody came in. I just said, "Whoa, who could have? What was that?" So I'm sitting down, back on my sectional couch again, and the stairs from the basement to the kitchen, which is alongside the living room, I hear something like really, really heavy. Because when you live in a house for like 20-something years, you know every single sound. And when somebody comes up those steps, my son's about 170 pounds, my wife's about 120 pounds. This thing sounded like something like maybe 300 pounds. You're just crushing those steps very slowly, one after the other. So I get up again. I know there's not a person in this house. And I had this really unsettling feeling, like I said, something menacing or sinister was here. So I go over again and look down the steps. There's nobody there. So, Gary, I don't know what to do about it, okay? I don't think anybody knows what to do about it. So I'm not sure about anything, but I'm sure about a lot of things that we'll discuss in a minute. So I can't. I know my wife's coming home a few hours, and I don't think I could tell her that, because why would I want to scare the crap out of my wife about this if it's only who knows what it is? You know what I mean? So I decided I'm not going to say anything. So she comes home, but the first thing she says to me is, something wrong with this house? She goes, I felt something weird when I came in, she said to me. I go, I don't know, Lillian, really honestly. She says, it's just something weird. So she went about her business, and she sat down on the couch with me, and then again, we hear something crushing those steps, coming back up the steps again. So she goes, is that Johnny? So it's kind of early for Johnny to be home. She goes, she yells, Johnny, is that you? So I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to say, I think it's, I don't know what to tell her, to be honest with you. So she gets up, she goes over like I did, looks down the steps, there's nobody on the steps, she says to me. What was that? And what's this feeling about this house? She goes, there's something off. She goes, something terrible feeling, there's something sinister about this house. So I still didn't want to say anything. So time goes by a little bit, Gary. And the thing we could hear, I didn't want to say anything to her, but now we hear it like walking down the hallway behind the living room. There's bedrooms back there. So we hear her walking down there and slamming the bedroom's door. So she's saying to me, well, now what is that? She says to me. So I'm like, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe something evil got in the house? I don't know. Well, you know, I didn't want to scare her about it, you know. So what am I going to tell? You know, I think there's some kind of horrible creatures here. I'll see you. I'm going to go out and play golf. You know what I mean? How am I going to do this? There's no way I could do something like that. So anyway, so that goes, Gary, that goes on for. So I mean, you know, you're in your bedroom at night, and so we're all both off our game, off kilter a lot, and we're in your bedroom at night, and you close everything, and you lock everything, turn the lights. So you want to feel safe in your bedroom, but at night, occasionally, something like that would breathe like a Cape buffalo was like right over me, breathing very hard like a Cape buffalo, and it would wake me up. I didn't want to say anything, but I know now my wife is waking up. And she wakes up and turns on, what is that? She goes, what's that guy breathing? She goes to me. She says, this is terrible. I don't know. She said, what are we going to do about this? And I was like, I still don't know what to do about it. So, Gary, this is in the summer last year. I have a beach house down Long Beach Island. In the summer, that's where we go. On the weekends down there, and my family comes down there, and my extended family comes down. We kind of relax a little bit on the weekend. So the one time my son doesn't come down. Usually he comes down with his girlfriend, but this time he stayed home. He calls up down there. And my wife, he calls my wife on her cell phone. He goes, both of you down to the beach house? And she goes, yeah, we're down to the beach house. He goes, why? Well, he goes, when I'm downstairs, I hear something huge walking around upstairs. I hear the bedroom doors slamming. When I go upstairs to investigate, there's nothing there. But now I hear it downstairs in my apartment, he goes. I hear my door being slammed. He has a glass sliding door in the closet sliding door. He hears that slamming back and forth finally. He goes, what is that? So my wife said, well, when we get home, your father's going to have to talk to you, I guess. And she goes to me, when we get home, we're going to have to talk about this. So I was like, all right. Gary, I don't know what to do about it. I still didn't have this actual apparition yet where I was positive, you know.
I would be scared at that point, though. I'll tell you that.
You know what, Gary? I didn't realize it. This creature was so intelligent and powerful and organized. It had a methodology. It really had a methodology. It was at first telling me it was here. When it first possessed this house, that was its way of telling me it's here, it's possessing the house, and it's present in this house. Then it started to telling my wife, using this methodology of how it you know, would crush the steps, the breathing and slamming the door. It was telling now my wife, it is here and possessing the house. And then when Johnny was alone, and we were together, we also heard the same thing. But when he was alone that time, it was using its methodology on him, telling him he's here, he's in control, he's possessing this house. So now the three of us know, okay, for sure, just about. Because, Gary, there's no way the three of us can hallucinate about something exactly the same. No matter if all of us were having a reaction to some kind of medication, if all of us took a hallucinogenic, if all of us did any kind of a drug, there's no way, could ask any psychiatrist in the world, that all three of us are going to have the exact hallucination at the exact same time. You know what I'm saying? So this was something that was real, so real to all of us, and now we knew it. And my wife starts saying to me, look, could you go to the church and ask to have somebody come here and do an exorcism? And I was like, I don't think I could do that. I mean, we know these people Gary, we know them for like 20 years. Over 20 years. They come here every spring. We have like a little garden party in the back, and everybody comes, and you know, the priests come, and the parishioners come, and they're all friends with us, and my wife has meetings here. I mean, and now I'm going to go over there and tell the priest who knows us as a normal family that I think my house is possessed by a demon. I couldn't do it. So there had to be some other kind of solution, I was telling her. So she was saying, look, if you can't figure this out, I'm just